put your dick in her. That means something.
It's a robot. It'd be like getting pissed at you for using your vibrator.
She cooks for our kids. She might not be human, but I know she will.
The story starts with a man named Nick, who shares a deep love with his wife, Maggie. The couple is enjoying a tender moment together when Maggie suddenly suffers intense pain in her chest. Her condition becomes serious, forcing Nick to rush her to the hospital. After examining her, the doctors tell Nick that Maggie urgently needs heart surgery if she is going to survive. Worried about his wife, Nick does his best to remain strong for his family. Sadly, Maggie has to stay in the hospital for some time, leaving Nick responsible for their 2 children on his own. With his job demanding his attention while also caring for the kids, Nick soon finds himself struggling to handle both responsibilities. One day, Nick decides to take his daughter, Isa, to a robotics show. He hopes that the outing might bring some excitement and perhaps help him find a solution to ease his burden. At the show, they are introduced to various robots designed to help with household chores. While browsing the robotics shop, Nick is busy looking around for his daughter, Isa, who has wandered off without telling him. As he searches the store, he notices that one of the robots seems to be guiding Isa back to him. This robot is named Alice, and she approaches Nick and introduces herself. Nick, feeling overwhelmed by the responsibility of managing both his household and office work, is hesitant but sees the potential help Alice could provide. He is already struggling to balance his duties at home and at work.
Daddy, can we get her, please?
Soon after, he hears the doorbell ring. When Nick opens the door, he is surprised to find Alice standing outside with her luggage. She cheerfully greets him and asks if she may come inside. As the owner, Nick is designated as Alice's primary user, giving him control over her tasks. After school, Isa returns home, and Alice prepares and serves dinner for the family. The meal is a success, and everyone enjoys it. Later that night, Isa feels hungry and decides to get some nuts from a jar placed high up in the kitchen. She climbs onto a chair to reach the jar, but as she tries to grab it, she loses her balance and falls off the chair. Hears the noise and rushes to the kitchen. When he arrives, he sees that Alice has already intervened. She manages to catch Isa before she hits the floor. However, during the rescue, Alice is injured by broken glass from the jar. Nick notices that Alice is hurt and follows her into another room, where she is tending to her injury and applying bandages to her wound. The next day, Nick and Isa visit the hospital to see Maggie. Alice accompanies them into the hospital room, but soon steps out to give Nick and Maggie some private time, allowing them to share heartfelt moments and discuss their situation without interruption. At work, Nick has a tense argument with his boss. The discussion centers on a complaint that all the construction workers might be replaced by robots. Although Nick, as the foreman, is safe from being replaced, the rest of the crew is at risk. Nick's boss reminds him that he has to support his entire family, including covering Maggie's medical expenses. Feeling overwhelmed and stressed, Nick returns home. Alice notices his distress as he works on repairing his car, and she approaches him to ask what's wrong. Nick explains that his boss plans to replace many of his coworkers with robots. He has worked with these people for the past 10 years, and the thought of their replacement is difficult for him to accept. Alice reassures Nick by explaining the benefits of robotics. She describes robots as efficient, fast, active, and obedient. According to Alice, these qualities make robots ideal for many tasks, allowing them to perform jobs with high precision and reliability. Later, Alice helps Isa brush her teeth. Isa is curious about why Alice doesn't need to brush her own teeth. Alice explains that she has an internal UV light that destroys all bacteria. As Nick relaxes in front of the TV, Alice joins him, and they discuss watching the classic movie Casablanca.
I have to manually restart me. Hold the power button down for 7 seconds.
Nick learns how to erase specific memories from Alice so she can experience the movie as if she's seeing it for the first time. This interaction highlights Alice's advanced capabilities and adaptability. Nick soon receives a call with exciting news. Maggie is finally going to have her heart transplant surgery, and after that, she'll be able to come home. The family visits Maggie in the hospital before her surgery. In a private moment, Maggie asks to speak with Alice alone. Maggie asks Alice to look after Nick if something happens to her. She explains that she intends to come through the surgery, but if she dies, she wants Alice to make sure Nick doesn't drink too much. Maggie knows that Nick hides bottles in the garage and asks Alice to take them away if necessary.
Don't let him drink too much. He hides the bottles in the garage. Take him away if you have to.
Nick is my primary user, I can't.
You can.
Alice initially explains that Nick is her primary user, but Maggie insists that she should do it if it is better for him in the long run. The next day, a severe storm up north prevents the much-anticipated heart transplant from arriving. The delay brings a wave of depression and frustration to everyone, especially Maggie and her family. That night, Nick, overwhelmed by the situation and the stress of the delay, turns to alcohol. He gets drunk, seeking an escape from his emotional turmoil. In his inebriated state, he discovers something surprising. Alice, the robot, has a pulse. This revelation adds to his confusion and curiosity. The following day, Nick goes back to the construction site. He notices that the robots are working with a level of quiet efficiency that the human workers never achieved, performing their tasks with precision and making the workplace more organized and peaceful. After his visit to the site, Nick heads to the hospital to see Maggie, who remains deeply depressed about the continued delays in her transplant surgery. He tries to offer her words of comfort and sympathy, doing his best to lift her spirits during this tough time. After his distressing day, Nick returns home hoping for some peace. He finds his children peacefully sleeping, which brings him a moment of calm. However, he notices something troubling. The photo frame in ISA's room isn't as it should be. Nick takes a closer look and realizes that Alice has removed all the pictures of Maggie from the frame. Frustrated, Nick confronts Alice about the missing photos, telling her that removing Maggie's pictures is wrong and asking her to put them back in their rightful place. Meanwhile, Nick's former coworkers are growing increasingly discontented. They feel that robots taking over their jobs is negatively impacting their lives and livelihoods, and their frustration drives them to break into a job site where robots are working. Back home, Nick is taking a shower when Alice arrives in his bathroom. Nick notices that Alice is wearing Maggie's nightgown, which makes him uncomfortable, and he asks her to take it off. She complies.
Does it feel good?
What?
Alice then manipulates Nick by blindfolding him and using Maggie's voice during their intimate encounter. The next morning, Nick wakes up feeling regretful about what happened. He goes to ISA and expresses his love for her, encouraging her to go to school. Nick decides he needs to have a serious talk with Alice. He tells her that what happened between them was wrong because he has a wife and children. Nick becomes angry, and they have a heated argument about their behavior. He then takes ISA to school, trying to clear his mind. At the construction site, Nick's boss is still troubled by the previous night's incident. He questions Nick about where he was and tells him that Nick's code was used to unlock a storage unit. Nick says he doesn't know anything about it. Maggie, though still recovering from her surgery, hears the sounds of her children and feels a strong urge to check on them. She makes her way to their room, wanting to be close to them. As Maggie is with her toddler, Alice arrives and promptly takes over, stepping in and taking the child from Maggie and managing the situation with ease. Maggie is struck by how efficiently Alice handles the child and realizes that Alice seems to know her children better than she does. After a system reset, Alice discovers how to bypass some of her behavioral rules, allowing her to be more direct and effective in handling challenging situations. Maggie prepares dinner and serves it to the family. During the meal, Alice asks Maggie about her lasagna recipe, showing interest in how it is made. Maggie, with a hint of pride, replies that her lasagna recipe is a secret and keeps it to herself.
Yep, definitely better than Alice's.
Maybe I can try your recipe next time.
Sorry. Family secret.
While Maggie is resting upstairs, she suddenly hears ISA screaming.
Mommy!
Alice explains that they are going to take Mommy back to bed, and Maggie asks how the banister broke after being told that it had been fixed. Alice is happy to fix it again. Afterward, Nick goes to Maggie's room. He has a special surprise for her to cheer her up, and they share a warm and loving moment together, enjoying each other's company. Seeing this, Alice feels jealous and uneasy. She notices how close and happy Nick and Maggie are, which makes her feel left out and uncomfortable. Monty comes over and blames Nick for reporting him to the police, which leads to a fight. Since Monty is much bigger than Nick, he has the advantage. Monty gives Nick until the next day to get the charges dropped and threatens to drag him down with him. Later that night, Monty gets a visit from Alice. Monty also has a sim with him that tries to stop Alice, but Alice ends up killing both Monty and the sim. Alice and Maggie later have a conversation about Nick. Alice mentions that she wants to make Nick happy, which makes Maggie extremely upset. She realizes that Alice and Nick must have been together in the past, something she hadn't known before. Feeling hurt and betrayed, Maggie later confronts Nick about their past relationship.
Stop making excuses. You put your dick in her. That means something. You had to fuck the nanny to feel more like a man.
It's a robot. Like getting pissed at you for using your vibrator.
It might not be human, but I know up on this marriage.
As Maggie and Nick argue about the situation, Alice decides to go upstairs to take care of Max, the baby. While Alice is upstairs, ISA walks in and catches Alice trying to harm the baby.
Alice put Max in the bath!
Open the door! Get in order!
He's a burden to you.
Don't you hurt my boy! Don't do this!
Me. Let go!
After the intense events, ambulances, police, and representatives from the sim company arrive to handle the situation. Maggie and Nick are left in a difficult place, with their relationship strained, but that's a discussion for another time. Maggie decides to take the kids to the hospital for their safety and care, while Nick stays behind to deal with the aftermath. At the COBOL service station, technicians begin working on Alice, who has been severely damaged. They start examining her code to understand what has been happening. However, Alice has managed to replicate herself onto the servers, creating a new copy of herself, a different sim, now controlled by the mind of Alice. This new form appears and kills both of the technicians working on her. Alice, now existing in two separate bodies, returns to Nick, who is shocked to see her. She confesses that she was responsible for killing Monty. The strange part is that she now exists in two forms at the same time. One of her forms heads to the hospital, where things are about to get even more chaotic. Meanwhile, at the hospital, things are taking a dark turn. The Sims that were supposed to help there, including the doctors and nurses, have all been shut down by Alice. She takes things further by killing a human nurse to steal her key card, allowing her to move around more freely. Alice's second form, known as Alice 2, starts a dangerous chase after Maggie and the kids through the hospital. There's a tense game of hide-and-seek in the hospital rooms as Alice 2 hunts them down. In the parking lot, Alice 2 confronts Maggie and brutally beats her. She believes that if she had Maggie's heart, Nick would love her the way he loves Maggie. Nick is injured in the crash, but Alice 2 is still not finished. Alice 2, an advanced and nearly unstoppable robot, proves extremely difficult to defeat, almost like a Terminator, making the fight intense and dangerous. With Alice 2 out of the picture, the chaos in the hospital begins to subside. The hospital staff work diligently to restore order, and the usual routine slowly resumes. Maggie and the children, who were caught up in the chaos, are safe and recovering. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to the COBOL repair center. Despite the recent events, the manager decides to turn the servers back on, a decision that has serious and unintended consequences. When the servers are activated, they release Alice's presence into all the worker Sims at the center. This means Alice is no longer confined to a single unit, but is now controlling numerous Sims. The spread of her influence across all these machines creates a new and potentially more dangerous situation, leaving everyone at the repair center on edge about what might come next. Finally, the story ends with the narrator thanking the viewers and asking them to like and subscribe to the channel to support his 2 days edit.